Hello. I thought I'd do a video where I talk about my experience of being an artist for the last 12 years, I suppose, really. So, well, arguably forever, but that's debatable. Um, so, I started um, painting and drawing seriously when I was about 19 years old. Prior to that, 17, I was doing drawing, but not really in a serious capacity. So I started painting more seriously when I was at just last year of studying computer science at university, funnily enough. And I guess in the abstract, I'm a self-taught artist, but it's my own personal belief that all artists are self-taught, and the kind of distinctions of saying, I mean, basically what I'm saying is going to university is kind of a pointless exercise in some respects. Not fully. I think it's good to be around other creative people and learn from them. Do I think it's required to go to university to be an artist in modern speak? No. And if you look historically back at the history of art, a lot of the artists who actually made the big breakthroughs were not really working within the traditional art system. So Van Gogh's an obvious example. Francis Bacon's another obvious example. Trying to think of some less obvious ones. But yeah, anyway, regardless of all that, that's all the history. I think if you really want to be an artist, and there's some of my bits there, I've got a lot more than that, but there's just some pieces I've done over the last few years, and you just got to do it. It's as basic as that, and it's as blunt as that, really. And you've got to just basically kind of be very stubborn. And when everyone's telling you don't paint, it's never going to make any money from it, you just do it anyway. I'm saying this, I've had to rely on a lot of money off my parents, which is so much of a cliche that it is probably hilarious to everybody watching this. It's hilarious to me as well. I find it funny too. But I found with my own parents as well that they do see the value of what doing my artwork has to me personally, but also in a wider sense maybe to the world, I guess. Which sounds big-headed, probably is slightly big-headed, but I've changed people, I think, through my work, and that's what I aim to do with it, really, is to help people see that the world is beautiful and that there's a lot to live for. But also, I kind of cover the dark stuff as well. I don't want to make one-sided art, which is just like, oh, aren't flowers nice, kind of thing. I make art that is also quite ugly at times, in terms of like distorted figures, distorted imagery, usually humanoid bodies, quite alien-looking figures. I've got an obsession with the human body. Most of my concerns with the human body revolve around the female form, primarily because I just find it, women's bodies more interesting than men's. Men's bodies tend to be just quite, I don't know, they tend to just be boring, but quite flat. Obviously you get muscular bodies, but they're kind of not that interesting to me personally. So yeah, and I quite like, because I'm basically a heterosexual male, the male, it's kind of the thing of the male gaze and the female gaze as well, and analysing and kind of feeling that. But also, I've painted female friends, and it's just a nice kind of way of developing an understanding of another human being through paint, which I think is valid and still a worthy activity in the 21st century. I've written with the Tunnel Group I'm with, an artist collective based in London, a lot about how art will evolve in the 21st century, and I believe that painting still has a place, along with all the other digital arts, which I also do as well. So I do a bit of that stuff, mostly video art primarily, but I'm kind of more verging into going into game stuff at the minute too. Digital games and kind of like mind benders, I guess. Um, yeah, basically, if if your parents say don't be an artist, if your friends saying don't be an artist, if all your peers of whatever capacity are saying you can't do this, then kind of go, yes, I can, and just do it. That's the best way. Obviously, the best advice I can add. I mean, in my own life, I'm pretty skint, but I kind of get by doing web development work and web design work. That's how I earn my bread and butter, and then I do my art as often as I can. Support that through my IT and web development work, so that's why it's useful for me to go to university and study computer science. And I've kind of developed this idea called the artist engineer, and I think it might be an evolving paradigm that will evolve more in the 21st century. Of if you want to be an artist, you want to really do the painting stuff, you want to really do all the creative work you want to do in your heart, learn a really good technical skill, and you can pursue all your dreams within the context of an actual fit, having a skill which will also earn you money. I know I'm kind of being a bit fence-sitty with some of my positions here. I mean, I hope to one day be able to make a living fully off my work. I mean, I've got 30 paintings which are quite large now, which have been exhibited in London. And also just a large body of work which has a narrative to it and has a kind of feeling to it. But I just make art. That's the only reason I make art is for the sake of making art for art's sake. And I think there's still virtue and value in that. A lot of modern contemporary art now is just kind of this, sly ironic postmodernism. Aren't we clever? We understand this joke. It's all a bit of a joke, isn't it? I hate all that bullshit. It's boring. It's not real. There's nothing real about it. And if we actually want to evolve art in the 21st century, we have to get beyond all this elitist crap that's been holding us back for the last 20 or 30 years. Kind of a counterculture, essentially. That's what I've been trying to develop with the tunnel, co-develop with the tunnel, is an alternative to this elitist culture of the 1%ers, I guess, who just art's another commodity for them. It's not anything real or important. It's just another commodity. But anyway, it's enough for me rambling, so I'm just going to post this up now, I think.